Hello again. I see you have returned for more tales from the Cursed Apple. Or maybe this is your first time. Either way, please take a seat as I tell you about the worst trade deal in the history of Deadlock. Billy and I were on the Yellow Lane, up against Paradox and Ivy. I was hoping to steal their small camp while on low HP, but Paradox called me out, taking a good chunk of my health bar with a kinetic carbine shot, after some poor stamina management on my part. Looking for an opportunity to retreat, I hid near the secret shop, but Ivy predicted my predicament, throwing her entangling thorns right where I was standing, killing me and causing a very funny ragdoll. But my revenge against Paradox would be swift. I saw her trying to go farm the jungle, and I could feel it in my bones. A perfect time for a gank. Sneaking up behind her, you could tell I was not warmed up because my aim was terrible, but her HP was deleted anyways. Ivy tried to help her teammate, but it was too late. Before Paradox could receive any healing, her corpse hit the ground with a thud. I went back to clear the creep wave while Billy decided to gank Ivy. Ultimately, she was forced to use her ultimate to escape the hordes, leading the fight back to our lane. After some poking, Billy was forced to retreat, but Ivy already had her ult again, and spent it chasing down the goat, leaving Paradox to deal with a wounded Mina. Unfortunately for Paradox, I had my ultimate and she did not, making her time travel back to the spawn room for a second time. It was a 1v1, me versus Ivy. I guess Ivy decided she was now a pacifist because for some reason, she was too busy retreating instead of fighting back. But my umbrella swung true, dropping her to the floor, leaving me as the lane's champion. Now here is where everyone will slap their forehead in shame. While we were doing okay on our lane, Green Lane was not looking too well. Rim made the executive decision to stack Green Lane, and feeling confident in my own success so far, I decided to rotate, leaving Billy in a 1v2, thinking he could stall while we destroyed their tower. Now get ready for a boatload of mistakes. A rift was opening on Yellow Lane, but we did not realize, giving Paradox and Ivy it for free and leaving Billy out to dry, losing the Guardian. Not ideal, but not bad. Then they kept pushing all the way to our walker, and through our yellow walker. Because we stacked Green Lane, Warden was just free to push our blue walker. One moment we were doing well, the next moment we were down 2 walkers. So for the price of 1 Guardian, we gave up an unstable rift and 2 walkers. None of us should ever invest in the stock market because of our performance. We will buy high and sell low. While stealing their jungle, trying to get back into the game, Yamato tried to gank me, but unfortunately for her, the tables were turned as Billy, Bebop, and Victor were right next door, reversing the situation. Seeing no hope, she popped her ultimate, only for Ivy to swoop in and save her before Yamato could do anything using her ultimate. Right next to the failed reverse gank, an unstable rift opened, and it was time for an all-out brawl in an enclosed space. Seeing Paradox on low health, I rushed in, secured the kill, before Warden and I got into a heated duel. I could not escape his cage, as I had already spent my Dispel magic on cleansing Mirage's Gin Mark. Warden felt the need to punch a lady instead of just shooting her. One quick parry was enough to remind him he has a gun. Unfortunately, he fell in a crack with stun, not making him punishable, and Yamato came swinging in for revenge from the reverse game, making sure I was sent back to the spawn room and we lost our second unstable rift this game. To make matters worse, we immediately lost the next team fight, but our losing streak was about to come to an end. Warden, Ivy, and Yamato tried pushing our last walker, but the entire team rotated to prevent them from getting an even further lead. Well, Warden was able to kill Victor. He only took death as a suggestion and got right back up, returning the favor. Ivy was alone, looking down the barrel of our whole team. Before she had a chance to retreat, she felt the consequences of a 1v5. The walker stood no chance, even with Pocket burning his ultimate to prevent us from healing. Mirage and Yamato came back looking for a quick cleanup, but 7 became a living thunderstorm, and Mirage was the lightning rod. I have no idea what Yamato was thinking when she grappled Seven in the middle of his ultimate, but it would be her last thought before she was sent back to the spawn room. I went to go clean up Yellow Lane, and I saw a lone Paradox looking mighty solo ultable. While Mighty was pushing their Green Walker, I decided to be a distraction, taking 2/3 of the Walker's HP and forcing Ivy and Yamato to rotate, at the cost of not being able to defend their Green Walker, and my life of course. When I respawned, the Yellow Walker was tempting, but what was even more tempting was the 3rd rift in a row on Yellow Lane. Yamato rushed into the loving arms of my ultimate, and being a man up, my team pushed the Walker while I was on rift capturing. But that was not a bad thing, as I saw an exposed Blue Walker and wanted to see if I could take it. Instead of trying to commit to a push that would go nowhere, I showed some restraint and went to take the final Walker, only to find it completely unprotected. Pocket tried to stop me, but it was too late. Mirage quickly attempted to retreat to his final Walker from Bebop, but all he found was me. Yamato tried covering his escape, but unfortunately there was no Ivy to lift her out of this bad engagement. With those picks, we quickly took mid-boss and were ready to push into their base. Pocket respawned just in time to hit a nasty affliction, preventing us from healing, and then a nasty faceplant as his corpse hit the ground with a thud. We bravely pushed into the enemy base, knocking out both their shrines and getting their patron to half HP. But we took too many casualties along the way, forcing us to back off and wait for another chance. By the time our assault was stopped, mid-boss had already respawned, and both of us wanted the Rejuvenator. Yamato, being a master at taking 1v3s and losing, decided that it had worked out poorly for her so far, so maybe she should try it again. Paradox was able to force out Victor's ultimate at the cost of her life, but Seven and Billy fell in the process, making it a 4v4. Warden and Pocket slammed forward in order to close out the fight, but while he was focusing me, Rim shut him down with an ultimate of his own, putting the Alchemist to sleep. Bebop, Rim, and I decided to force the issue and take mid-boss. Despite 3 of them being alive, no one challenged us. It was time for our final push. After Yamato did her signature move, the real fight began. Paradox hit me with her ultimate, dragging me into the blender. She calls a pulse grenade, forcing the last Rejuvenator charge out of me, but it didn't matter. One by one they all fell before the power of our larger wallets. The ritual was complete, and the Archmother was declared victorious. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the story, I would really appreciate it if you subscribed. Have a great day, and until next time, bye!